Hello, dear students. I hope you might have enjoyed the patent related lectures which we had done last weeks all together. From our today's week, in our today's session, we will be going through another type of intellectual property right, which is also considered to be the author's right, meaning it is one of the most common intellectual property right which you will find throughout the world. One of the common, why I say so, because the ingredients of this intellectual property right, the elements of this intellectual property rights are the ones which you find it on day to day basis. For example, let's say I want to write a beautiful poem. The minute I write the poem, I get this copyright over it. If you remember, when we studied patents, we said that to be eligible to get a patent registration, you need to satisfy certain criteria, be it novelty or be it capable of industrial application or be it unique, so on and so forth. But when you talk about copyright as an intellectual property right, it just has to be original and it needs to fit within any of the given elements which we will discuss in our subsequent slides. With respect to patent, registration was mandatory because till the time you don't prove it to the patent authority that it is an invention capable of granting of patent, you won't get that exclusive right of 20 years. But when you talk about copyright, registration of copyright is not mandatory, and that is why it is considered to be one of the most common intellectual property rights. In our subsequent sessions, we will be going through the following. We will understand what are the objectives behind this kind of intellectual property right, which seems to be one of the easiest copyright related intellectual property right. We will understand what are the rights of copyright holder, how the copyrighted work can be transferred from the owner, that means the copyright holder, to another person. When you talk about infringement, what happens when an infringement is considered under the Copyright Act, and what are the remedies and defenses in infringement of copyright. Today we will go through the meaning and objectives of copyright to understand how the entire copyright law or how the entire copyright system was evolved. Now, copyright, as I said, is a bundle of rights which is given by the law to the creators of literary, dramatic, musical, and artistic work, and the producers of cinematographic films and sound recording. Copyright does not protect idea, it protects the expression of ideas. There is a big difference between idea and expression of idea, because let's say if I just have an idea of writing a beautiful poem, I'm just thinking it in my mind. I'm sitting in front of a beautiful sunset and I'm just thinking it in my mind that this is how sunset looks or this is how a poem can be formed out of sunset. That cannot be protected under copyright. But the minute I put down my words on a piece of paper, I type it somewhere, I record it, then it comes under the copyright protection. So mere ideas cannot be protected, but it is only the expression of ideas in some tangible form can be protected under the copyright laws. The main objective of copyright law is to encourage the authors or the composers or the artists, be it the designers or the dramatic people who create original works, by rewarding them with exclusive right for a limited period to exploit the work for monetary gain. The word limited period here means lifetime of the author plus 60 years when you talk about the Indian scenario. It also protects the writer or the creator of original work. The word here which copyright law has used is original. In case of patent, we saw the word novel, whereas in case of copyright, it is not novelty, it need not be novel, but it has to be original. There is a scenario, there can be a circumstance where if I have drawn a beautiful picture of a table and chair on a piece of paper, somebody else in the world might also have drawn the similar or even same kind of a picture on a piece of paper. Not necessary that the person has copied my picture and has drawn the table and chair, but even that person might be having same idea. Ideas can be similar or they can be coming up in multiple minds, but it is the expression of idea which is protected, and if it is the one which has not been copied by another person, it can be considered to be original. Let's say we all know the national flag of India. If I have drawn the national flag of India's drawing, and even my friend has drawn the drawing of the national flag, there is not necessary, it is not necessary that we both have copied it from each other, but there's nothing much difference between the flag which I have drawn and the flag which she might have drawn, because the flag is a flag, it has got no different changes, it has got no change in it. And that is why if I have drawn the national flag as per my idea without copying it from her, it becomes my original work and I get a copyright over it. Similarly, if she has drawn the national flag without copying it from me, and it is her expression of her idea of a flag, then she gets a copyright over it. And that is why under copyright law, novelty is something which is not required, but originality is something which is required. Likewise, the author of the work is considered to be the first owner of copyright. The author here does not every time mean the person who has written a book, or the person who has written an essay, or the person who has written the paper. It means the creator of the work. It can be anybody and everybody who has done it for the first time. That means the person who has brought it into existence becomes the owner of that copyright. Likewise, in India we have the Copyright Act 1957, which is in conformity with trade related aspects of intellectual property rights, that is the TRIPS agreement, which we had seen in our introductory lecture. Registration though is not mandatory in India, but it is recommended that if the work is going to carry commercial value to it, then it is better you get it copyrighted. For example, if I have written a book or have authored a book on laws relating to IPR, and I have written a beautiful script of 100 or 200 pages with respect to laws relating to copyright. Now I want to commercially exploit my work, I want to bring it into public domain. If I just go on distributing the Xerox copy of that paper, that means that 200 pages to everybody on a traffic signal, I might not get commercial value out of it. But if I want the commercial utilization of my hard work, I go to a publisher, I tell my publisher that this is how I want a book to be printed out of this 200 pages which I have written. The publisher takes that, prints the paper, starts binding it, prints it, and makes a beautiful book out of my work. That book I can go and register it under the Copyright Act, whereby if somebody tomorrow copy pastes the paper or the contents of my book as it is without giving me any credit for that work, it will be considered to be copyright infringement. If I file a case against that person, I don't have to prove it in the court that this work was mine, this book is mine, I am the author of the work. For a simple reason, the fact that I have registered my copyright, it is a recordal fact that it is my original work. If somebody has just copy pasted my work as it is, has copy pasted the contents of my book as it is, I don't have to prove it in the court that it was my original work. The person who has copy pasted will be considered to be liable for infringement and will have to pay me the damages for it. And that is why if any work has to be commercially exploited, it is recommended to get it registered. After you obtain the registration, you might have seen at many places there is always a logo of alphabet C which is encircled. You go to any website, you scroll down to the bottom of that website homepage, you will see C alphabet which is encircled, and there in front of that it is written copyright 2010 or copyright 2020, all rights reserved. That means that that web page has been registered with the Copyright Authority. So once you get the certificate of copyright, registration of copyright, you get a right, you get an authority to use that encircled C on the work which you have registered it. In India, the duration of the original literary, dramatic, musical, and artistic works is lifetime of the author or the artist plus 60 years from his death. It simply means that if I have created any work or any copyrightable work, I will get exclusive right over it during the time I am alive, and after my death my legal heirs will get a right to it for further 60 years. If you remember, we said for patent it was 20 years from the date of application, so it was a smaller duration. But with respect to copyright, it is considered to be one of the longest period for any IPR, and that is why it is your lifetime plus after your death 60 years. Wherein when you talk about any cinematographic film or sound recording or any posthumous publication or any anonymous and pseudonymous publication or any government work, the term of protection is 60 years from the date of publication. So for example, if any movie has been released in 2020, let's say 1st of September 2020, the term of copyright protection for that entire movie will be from 1st of September 2020, 60 years from 1st of September 2020. Whereas in case of any other literary, dramatic, musical or artistic work, it is lifetime of the author plus 60 years after the death of the author. So you will understand that how long is the protection granted to any copyrightable work. Now under the Copyright Act 1957, certain works are protected. One is your literary work, another dramatic, musical and artistic, cinematographic films and sound recording. These are the main 5 categories under which your work can be protected under the Copyright Act. Now we'll go one by one to understand what all is included in these works. The first one is your literary work. You must have by now understood what the word literary means. It means anything which consists of literature. So copyright will subsist in original literary work, which basically may go on consisting. The work should not be copied from another work, but it must originate from the author. If two authors have independently produced an identical work, both the works will be copyrightable and both can be protected under the copyright law. Here in this case, in case of literary work, attention or emphasis is laid down more on labor and skill judgment and the time which has been or the money which has been expended in producing the work. For example, it goes on including any tables, formulas, compilations. In India, even the computer programs or softwares, like I said earlier as well, are protected under the literary work category. So they are considered to be literature, some form of writing or some form of typing which has got skill involved in it, which has got judgment involved in it. And like we were discussing during patent law, you cannot patent computer softwares in India, but you can copyright the computer programs, because programs are considered to be coding material and codes are written, so they have got certain language involved in it. And when you have a language involved in it, it comes under the category of literary work. So for example, you have essays, poems, books which are authored, or articles which you can see on the websites or in the journals, or any publications, research thesis, or I have written my own notes. For that matter of fact, this PPT which I am presenting to you, it has got my original work, it is my work, it is my literary work. So I have already got the copyright over this PPT. So if somebody uses this PPT for any commercial purpose, for any non-educational purpose without my permission, it will be considered to be copyright violation. So the meaning of literary work basically is that some sort of literature, that means which has got language, which has got alphabets, which has got numbers, something which can be put down into writing is considered to be literary work. The next category which is protected under your copyright act, then that is the dramatic work. Now copyright also subsists in original dramatic work and its adaptation. Now dramatic work means it includes any piece or recitation or any choreographic work, be it entertainment in any dumb show or any scenic arrangement or acting form of which is fixed in writing otherwise, but it does not include any cinematographic film. Now, you all must be aware of certain dramas or theatres which are performed on stage, which are performed on streets, or which are performed in public gatherings. All of such things come under your dramatic work. So, something which is involving a recitation or it is having a choreographic work apart from your cinematographic films will be considered as dramatic work. The next category which is protected under your Copyright Act is musical work. Now musical work has got so many dimensions to it because when I say that it is music, it not only has got standalone copyright protection to it. For example, any music is a combination of various harmonies involved in it, a melody. Some might be put down in writing, some might be graphically produced or reproduced. You might have seen the people who play violin, there is a script like paper which is set in front of them. It may not have alphabets like A, B, C, D, but it is a language altogether which denotes which key to press and which hold to press when they are playing the violin. So when you talk about any music, you cannot have any separate protection for a song. So when you consider a song, there are so many dimensions to it. For example, take any typical Bollywood song. You have got the dancers who are dancing in that song. You have got music in that song. You have got singers who are singing in that song. Likewise, you have got script writers who have written the wordings to that song. That means people who have written that song wordings altogether. So in one typical song you have got so many copyrights which are standalone protected. So a person who has authored that song, he will get the rights copyright over the wordings which he has given into that song. A person who has given music to that song, he will get standalone copyright over that music. A person, that means a singer who has sung that song, he standalone will get artistic copyright over it. So one particular song has got different copyrights. They cannot be merged unless and until that song has been written, it has, the music has been provided to it by the same person, or the rights over that song has been transferred to the producer of that song. So generally what happens in our movies is that whosoever is the producer of that movie, that person has got a copyright over the songs as well. So individual singer, or be it the music composers, or be it the lyricist, all these people individually may not have different copyright over it. They might have assigned the copyrights, or they might have transferred the rights to the producer. But apart from the movies, when you talk about any musical work, the notes related to that music, the theme related to that music, the melody of that music, the person who has presented that music will get the copyright over it. The next type is artistic work. The word artistic is self-explanatory. If there is a drawing, or if there is a painting, a sculpture, or an engraving, or a photograph, or any architectural work of art, these all will come under your artistic work. In this case as well, it need not be novel, but the work will be considered to be protectable if it is original. That means the author, the artist, has put in his skill, judgment and efforts to bring forward, to express his idea of art, and that is what exactly artistic work means. So when you talk about copyright, copyright subsists in literary, dramatic, musical and artistic. The next one is your cinematographic films. Now cinematographic films, like we have already discussed earlier, the entire film's copyright is granted to the producer of that film. So whosoever is a producer will get the right over the entire movie. Now, there was a case in which Ram Gopal Verma was involved. We all know he is one of the directors who is not very critically acclaimed, but a very in spotlight director. We all know the landmark movie Sholay, which casted Mr. Amitabh Bachchan or Mr. Dharmendra in it, or Jaya Bachchan in it. Ram Gopal Verma few years back tried to reproduce Sholay by having the same storyline, but in that movie, if you might have seen, anybody might have seen it, casted Ajay Devgan and some other upcoming actress in that movie, and the name of that movie was titled as Aag. Ultimately, it was brought forward and it was considered to be copyright infringement, because the entire theme of that movie, that means the movie which was produced by Ram Gopal Verma, the entire theme of that movie, the name of the characters of that movie, for example Viru, or be it Basanti, or be it Jay, the names of the characters which are famous, which are renowned, even our generation knows about the character of that movie and the movie script. The music of that movie, or the script of that movie, the cast name of that movie, everything was same as was that of Sholay, which was 20 or 25 years back movie, and ultimately it was considered to be a copyright infringement, because the producers of the original Sholay movie had not given any rights to Ram Gopal Verma for reproducing or recasting the Sholay movie. We all know that generally when you talk about any Bollywood movie, you have sequences to it. So part 1, part 2, which goes on producing different type of streamlines. Take example of Devdas movie. We all know that this movie was not only brought for the first time by Shah Rukh Khan, Mr. Dilip Kumar also had played the cast or the role of Devdas. Definitely the cast was different, the dialogues were much different, even the script was comparatively different. But without taking permission of the producer of a cinematographic film, if you are trying to remake it, reproduce it with the same line, be it the cast or the names of the characters or the songs or the unique popular scripts or even the dialogues, then it will be considered to be copyright infringement. And that exactly had happened with the movie Aag, which was produced by Ram Gopal Verma. So that is where the producer gets 100% rights over the cinematographic film. When you take into consideration the last portion, original work under copyright law, and that is sound recordings, this basically goes on involving the technical issues of recording any particular sound. Like cinematographic films, even the producer of that sound recording gets 100% copyright over that sound recording. Obviously, the people who are musicians in that sound recording, or the technical people who are involved in it, they have to assign their rights related to copyright to the producer. So technically, under the Copyright Act, we go on protecting literary, dramatic, musical and artistic, cinematographic and sound recordings. So these are the major categories under which you need to fit in your original work. Again, the ideas are something which are not copyrightable. It is the expression of ideas which is copyrightable. And the Copyright Act 1957 goes on granting protection to copyrightable work for the lifetime of the author plus 60 years, like we have already discussed. Now in our next lecture, we will go through the rights of copyright holder to understand how a copyright holder can commercially exploit his exclusive right, in what forms can he go on exploiting it, how can he translate it, how it can be adapted in some other form of expression. So in our next lecture, we will go and understand what are the rights of copyright holder under the Copyright Act. Thank you so much.